Today we will introduce you to Identity Economics book, going through its main ideas and some comparisons to traditional economics. It is written by the 2001 Nobel laureate in economics, George A. Akerlof, who is a professor of economics at the University of California, Berkeley. He also co-wrote Animal Spirits with Robert J. Schiller, and the second author, Duke University economics professor Rachel E. Cranston, who is a scholar in the economics of networks. This book brings a social context to behavioral economics, analyzing psychological reasoning behind men and women decision-making in the economy, while using real-life examples and stories from the everyday situation or past well-known events. To begin with, authors explain and analyze how identity markers such as race, class, gender, and social factors influence the personal choices of individuals, bringing completely new light to traditional economics. Quoting the authors, individuals' decisions are driven not only by idiosyncratic tastes but also by internalized social norms. However, it is important that economists acknowledge that the personal identity is constantly evolving and triggers of decision-making change through the life cycle. To ensure that the reader understands the theory behind it, they used an example of smokers and how the tobacco industry changed the perception of individuals towards the cigarettes to manipulate their personal choices. In early 1900s, female smoking was a taboo. In the mid-1970s, most of the women smoked as tobacco companies linked cigarettes to liberation and equality. The second example of influencing one's personality was a military academy. At the starting point, individuals change their personal clothes for uniforms and are placed all to the same social and race level. The creation of cadets' martial identity enhances their sense of community and creates a new self-image for each recruit. Similar to the corporate ties examples, when companies embrace company culture so that all the employees share their beliefs and work together towards a common goal which is beneficial to the company and the employees at the same time. Traditional economics. Decisions about family size, ethical values, and success are attributed to personality and individual taste. In contrast, identity economics brings the notion that individuals base their economic decision-making on who they are and the role they should be playing in society. It concentrates the attention on social factors and investigates how identity markers influence economic choices. Argues that people avoid actions that conflict with the concept of self or what it is expected depending on gender, age, and status. Preference to what one should do or how they should act is a key tenet of identity economics. All people exist within a social structure. Childhood, ethnicity, race, and class all feed into this construct. Traditional economics tends to assume that buyer and sellers in a transaction have equal access to market data. Identity economics disputes that assumption and examines how added factors, like crime, divorce, and racism, affect individuals financially and matters to economic decisions. For example, to answer the query of increase of tobacco consumption in women, traditional economics focus the attention on the demand and the role of disposable income. On the contrary, identity economics analyze how the tobacco industry used advertising to manipulate women's behavior. Traditional economics fail to acknowledge the vital role that company culture plays. When employees embrace a company's corporate culture, the organization could profit from lower cost and improved productivity. Understanding identity economics can be tremendously beneficial on the micro and macroeconomic level. For instance, assessing how employees identify themselves within a company and how strong corporate cultures can make a marked difference in terms of performance and loyalty. Cranston noted, "The economy is going to be better off because then you're going to be taking advantage of your human capital." How someone conceives of themselves impacts how they perform at school, the career they pursue, where they live, and what they buy. It all starts with identity. Knowing this can bring a greater understanding of what can be done to make improvements to a company, school, and even the wider economy. Identity economics doesn't just help us better comprehend our own economic decisions, it provides a foundation from which we can make the world a better place for one and for all.